All right, welcome back to another one of our film reviews. Today we are taking another look at Raiders rookie Jonah Laulu. Laulu has gotten better and better. We talked about him being a potential diamond in the rough, and he's really starting to show out. This guy looks like he could be a key piece of this Raiders defense for the future. Great find by Las Vegas. As always, if you appreciate this content, give us a like, give us any comments with any feedback you might have. But without further ado, let's jump right into the film. All right, let's start off with a pass rush, and there's Laulu right there lined up at what I'm going to call a wide three technique, right? A three technique is normally on the outside shoulder of the guard. He's a little wider. It's a passing situation. So, for example, this defensive end right there on the left side of your screen right there, maybe off the edge of your screen. I'm actually going to call that a really wide five technique. Even though he's really wide, he's kind of on the outside shoulder. Right here, what the Falcons try and do because of that width, they kind of slide the protection to the left. So the left tackle work that gap, the left guard work this gap, and the center working right over here just like this. And on the backside, we get one-on-one, one-on-one. So again, it's basically 5-on-5 protection. Right here, what the Raiders do is really smart, good design. They take this nose tackle, Butler in this situation, have him run this way, and then bring Laulu around in a stunt to try and get pressure right in Kirk Cousins' face. This is a good design. It opens up an opportunity for number 96, Laulu, but it takes an athletic player to make this play. Laulu showcases that he is. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap right there. You can see the offensive line for the Atlanta Falcons. You can see the center, left guard, left tackle working left. One-on-one on the backside. You can see the edge rusher. He backs off into coverage, so it's basically 2-on-1 right there. Good design by Las Vegas. Opens up the stunt right here for Laulu. Loops around. Great athleticism. Gets right in the quarterback's face. Gets a sack. Nice play. Again, is it like first round talent, speed, or anything like that? No, right? This is not a guy who's a top five pick or anything like that. But he is a playmaker, right? This is a guy who's starting to take advantage of his opportunities and make plays when the plays are there. And sometimes that's what you want out of quality players. Do you play with effort? Do you play with good technique? Do you play with the scheme and you make the play when it's there? And Laulu does it right here. Again, is he jumping off the page with his breakneck speed or anything? No. But he's just getting the job done, and the Raiders are better because of it. All right, from the wide copyright, you can see loudly right there again. Take one step up the field, then he's going to work around right there, loop around, north and south, sack the quarterback. Just good, solid, fundamental football, getting the job done. Teamwork 69 takes two offensive linemen, he loops around, makes a play. Again, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, right? It doesn't look like it's Khalil Mack or anything like that, but it's a heck of a job, right? It's not as pretty as Max Crosby can look. But sometimes it's just playing good football. The Raiders have missed that at a lot of positions over the past few years. Laulu could become a big part of the future with plays like this. All right, we're going to go with the run defense now. There is Laulu right there on the right side of your screen. You know, I'm going to call it a fine technique on the outside shoulder of the tackle. You could make kind of an argument he's head up. He's really tight. But regardless, right here, the Atlanta Falcons, they're going to run an outside zone toss concept here to the left, just like this. Basically, everyone on the offensive line, especially on the play side, is trying to reach the Raiders to the gap to the left. So the tight end's going to work to his left. We're going to get a little bit of a zone double team here before working up to linebacker. Guard's working to take him over. Reach here, reach here. Running back's just going to follow these blocks, look for a cutback opportunity, and just take it where he sees it. On the backside, 76's job for the Atlanta Falcons is to cut off Laulu. This is an example right here. What 96, what Laulu does is what makes me really fall in love with him as a player, as a prospect. Because the play's running away from him, right? It's an outside zone concept working this way. This is all about effort. This is all about intensity. This is all about want to on defense, making the play on the backside when the toss is going the other way. Great effort. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see everyone sprinting to the left in the Atlanta Falcons offense. You can see them trying to reach people, get hats on hats. Right here, there's a cutback opportunity. Bijan Robinson, running back's looking for. You can see there's the seam right there. He thinks he's got it. Good patient. Good job by number 7. Man, he's a good running back, right? Because right here, the linebackers for the Raiders do a really good job, especially right there on the backside, blowing through that guard, sending him flying. I know we're talking about loudly, but watch this right here, guys. Watch this linebacker on 67. Boom. That is awesome. Oh man, that's physical football. Love to see that. But number 7, Bijan Robinson does a great job cutting behind that. Right here, it's north and south for a big play. Maybe he gets one-on-one on that safety. Who knows what happens? But watch 96 on the backside. Fighting through trash, effort, lunge, dive, make the tackle, limited gain. You know about winning effort? I know the Raiders are not a good football team, putting it very mildly, but this is championship effort. This is the kind of stuff the Raiders have been missing over the past few years, especially on defense. Do you have guys not named Max Crosby that are willing to throw their body in harm's way, that are fighting to the echo of the whistle, play in and play out? That's what Laulu brings. I love his effort, his technique, his mentality. It's perfect for the Raiders.
Yeah, Nick, and I think this is something that really Laulu has shown very good at is his ability, his effort makes up for maybe his lack of talent in certain areas. Like we said, this is a 7th round pick. He's not going to be perfect at everything. And in run defense, he's had some really high highs. He's had 3 games over 70, 1 game over 80 this year. But some of the games he's been very inconsistent. This is one of the games he graded a little bit lower in that regard. So I'd like for him to be more consistent, but you see the effort, and that is where it shows on the stat sheet as well. While he may have graded a little lower this week, he made more impactful plays this week and the week before against Tampa Bay, having both 4 stops, which are tackles or plays made by the defense that are failures for the offense. He had 4 stops in each of those games, where he had really only had 4 stops in the entire season before that. So really making a lot more impactful plays in the run game, but I'd like to see more consistency week to week.
All right, we're talking about more consistency in the run defense game for Laulu. There he is right there, lined up in a 6 technique, head up on the tight end right here. The Atlanta Falcons are just going on a downhill scheme, very common to a lot of what you see in the National Football League these days. We're going to get block out there, block out there. We're going to get double team kind of action right here, double team kind of action here, working up to the next level. Basically, everyone taking their gap. You can see like this. It's just a downhill run, just like this. Running backs trying to look for a crease, find an area to go. And it can go really anywhere. It can go here, it could go here, it could go here, it could go here. The running backs just is reading these blocks, the double team, seeing what happens. Right here, defensive lineman Laulu, one-on-one on a tight end. This is an opportunity you have to win if you're going to be a player in the National Football League as a defensive lineman. You get this chance on a tight end. You have to win. Laulu does. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap right there. You can see the downhill running scheme. Interestingly enough, 25 doesn't run to the right. I saw this crease right here. I know the safety's flying up. I would have thought he would have gone that way. Now, again, I think Laulu still may make the play because he fights through 89, slant inside. I think what happens is 25 sees Laulu slant just like that. He says, okay, I got to jump cut and then hit this crease, right? And there is a hole right there. They got Hat right there, tight end on the end man. They got 5 inserting for the safety. Maybe this has a chance to really pop. But watch 96. He slants inside, beats a tight end across his face, sees the running back cut back. You can literally see his eyes right on 25. Then he spins around and makes a tackle. Playmaker. That's what he is, right? And again, he's not like a Khalil Mack, Max Crosby, Wilkins playmaker. We're not saying that. But in terms of getting the job done, when it's your time to make a tackle, when your opportunity is there, right here it is, he makes it, right? And this is what he does pretty much every snap. He's playing almost the entire game. His motor never stops. He makes plays. I tell you what, the Raiders stumbled into this kid. He's got a special future in the NFL. I think he could become a star as a part of this defense. All right, from the wide copy, watch 96 right there, beat tight end across his face, forces the running back to cut back, and then spins around and makes a play. You know, if this was a first round pick, we'd be saying, hey, this is what first round picks do, right? If this was a starter, if this was Christian Wilkins, we'd say, hey, that's what you signed Christian Wilkins for. Laulu obviously is neither of those things, but he's making plays like those guys. Again, consistency is a problem. He needs to clean it up, but there are real flashes of greatness with number 96. All right, so sticking with the run defense, what the Falcons are going to do is they're going to bring 85 in motion. He's going to eventually be a lead blocker right here. We're going to have everyone reaching to their right, the right side of your screen on offense, just like this. And it's going to be another kind of toss zone concept right here with the running back, trying to cut back wherever he sees a hole. We talk about Laulu. We talk about his effort and intensity. Guys, I want to be very clear. He played almost the entire game. This is like the 9th or 10th play in a drive. He should be dead tired. You wouldn't know it with this effort. He fights through all this trash once again and is part of the play. Let's check it out. There's the motion. There's the snap. There's the zone, right? You can see right here the Atlanta Falcons are trying to get some movement there. And then the cut back behind, follow 85, which is exactly what Bijan Robinson does for a decent gain. But who cleans it up? It's number 96 again. Watch Laulu on the backside. Again, working through this trash. Left tackle does a good job reaching him a little bit. Right there, Laulu's reach, not great. Low PFF grade, right? If you look at PFF stats. But he keeps working. He doesn't stop his feet, and he ends up making the tackle. This is what I mean when I say playmaker, right? There are a lot of defensive linemen that throttle it down, that slow it down, and then they don't make the play. I'll give you a great example of it. And I don't mean to be too negative here. Let's look at number 95. He kind of gets reached there. He's much closer to the running back, but he kind of throttles it down. He's not really part of the pile until the very end. I'm not saying he's playing with terrible effort. I'm just saying there's a difference between him and Laulu. Laulu's fighting for every single inch at all times. Even when he gets blocked, even when he gets reached, he is fighting to make the play. That's what I mean when I say he's a championship effort kind of guy. If he was playing on the Kansas City Chiefs or one of the other top contenders, I guarantee you the Chris Collinsworths of the world, when they watched him play, would be raving about him. Laulu can be that kind of player for the Raiders.
Yeah, Nick, and why I say he's been inconsistent at times, there are things that Laulu does really great, and that is not be a detriment to this team. One thing I always like to look at is how do these young guys, how are they interacting? Are they getting penalties? Are they doing dumb things to really shoot their team in the foot? And in the nicest way possible, the Raiders are already bad enough. They don't really need any penalties to make them any worse. That's not Laulu's game. Zero penalties on the season for him. Playing a lot of really clean football, doing aggressive, high effort, really high motor type of plays, but he's not doing any, he's doing just enough extra, if that makes sense. He's doing the high motor stuff, getting to the tackle, really making the play, but not doing enough to get a penalty. I think Laulu, like you said, really strong player, really great pickup for the Raiders. Could turn into something special here if he keeps developing.
All right, I know I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but Laulu, number 96, there he is right there. His effort, once again, is just incredible. This is going to be a pass rush situation. What the Atlanta Falcons are going to do is they're going to slide their protection to the right, the offensive right, the left side of your screen. So we're going to have the center work to that gap, guard work to that gap, tackle work to that gap. We're going to get one-on-one right here. Number seven's going to fly through unblocked. Robinson's going to have to pick him up, and Laulu's going to be one-on-one on the left tackle for the Atlanta Falcons, who's a really good player. And he doesn't beat him outright, right? Once again, obviously not first-round talent. He has some things he has to improve on. This is a good pass blocker. But his effort, his motor, he still ends up making the play in a big win for the Raiders defense. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap right there. You can see the offensive line sliding to the offensive right there. You can see number 7 coming up. He dodges Bijan Robinson, pressure on the quarterback. Kirk Cousins steps up trying to scramble. Who makes the play? It's Laulu once again. Playmaker. That's what 96 does. Again, pass rush move. He fights through it. It's not terrible, right? If I look at the technical side, does a great job at this onset. See how he tries to knock away the left tackle's hands? That's not bad. Tries to transition to a little bull rush. That's not terrible. Gets decent extension. Technically, that's not terrible, right? It's just physical tools, size, strength, speed, athleticism that he doesn't have yet. Maybe he'll develop them, but the reality is what he's known for and will be known for is just making the play. Right here, scramble's going to happen for a first down or at least a positive play. We see that every single Sunday. Everyone watches football, and the moment that this happens right here, you're like, okay, this is going to be a positive play for the offense. But Laulu's extra effort, diving, extension, tripping Kirk Cousins up, making the play. Playmaker. It's so weird to see a guy whose physical tools aren't on par with some other players, but all he does is make plays. The Raiders have stumbled into something special here. I really believe that Laulu's going to be a great addition to this team. All right, from the wide copy right here, you can see Laulu lined up outside the tackle at the 5 technique. Again, not a terrible pass rush. Tries to knock away the hands a little wide right there. He gets just blocked. And right here, 9 times out of 10, this is a scramble for a big run or at least a positive play. But again, 96 fights it off and makes a tackle. This is just what he does. It's almost uncanny on plays where he would get a bad PFF grade, right? His pass rush didn't win there, but he just makes the play and helps his team win. These are the kind of guys you can honestly build around. They're not pro bowlers, they're not superstars, they're not guys that you're going to pay $100 million, but they're guys that are going to help you win, and that's what Laulu is. All right, every once in a while, Laulu, and there he is right there on the right side of your screen, comes this close to actually making a dynamite play, and this is a great example of it. So what the Atlanta Falcons are going to do here, they're going to bring motion right here across the formation pre-snap to try and get linebackers and safety flowing this way, but it's really just going to be a standard inside zone just like that. So what they're going to do up front, they're going to have the left tackle reach right here, left guard reach right here, center take in this gap, see who comes, and then work up to the next level. Backside guard reach block right there. And then what they're trying to do is they're trying to get motion this way to bring the linebacker to fly this way. This linebacker scoots with them. The center picks them up. They reach these guys. Running back tries to find a hole and then gets north and south. That's how it's designed, and it's not a terrible design. What the Raiders do here is they slant this direction just like this, and Laulu comes this close to making an incredible play, tackling the running back for a loss. Let's check it out. 96 doing a lot of good things. There's motion. There's a quick snap right there. You can see exactly what the Raiders are trying to do up front, right? You can see the offensive line. They're trying to get people reached. Running back trying to cut back behind. The Raiders are slanting Laulu on the backside. Watch him beat 89 across his face cleanly. He's got 25 dead to rights and can't quite make the play. This is so close to being a tackle for loss. And this is one of those things where I think Laulu can make plays when he's given the opportunities. This is the one time he doesn't. Most of the time, if he gets a chance, he does it. And I think going forward, he will make this play. I think he gets a little too deep. I think he surprises himself how fast and explosive he is on this one, beating 89 right off the rip. because going forward, I think this is a tackle for loss. Again, solid enough job on the backside. At the very least, it forces the running back to get narrow and again try and cut back away from Laulu right into his help. So he helps makes the play. But there are moments where 96, and again, we're kind of been picking on him a little bit, talking about his athleticism, but there are moments where he shows it, and this play is a good example of it. All right, from the wide copy, watch Laulu beat the tight end across his face and come this close to making the play. Again, most of the time he makes that tackle. Going forward, I think he will. He gets a little too far up the field. Right here, he should have stayed a little flat. But I tell you what, this kid, he has moments where he's disruptive. We know he plays with high motor, high intensity. He executes his assignments. He does all the little things. And there are flashes where he looks like a really disruptive force as well. There's a chance he puts it all together and becomes an elite player for this Raiders defense. He's quietly getting better and better every single week. All right, let's end on my favorite play from Laulu against the Atlanta Falcons. There he is right there, lined up in the A gap and what we call a two-eye technique on the inside eye of that right guard for the Atlanta Falcons. You can see the Raiders have a bunch of people walked up at the line of scrimmage. Big third down point, of course, late in the game. Look at all these people right here. Who's coming? Who's going? This situation, 99 times out of 100, what you're thinking, okay, safety could be blitzing or he could be dropping into coverage. Maybe defensive end drops into coverage. Maybe a linebacker drops into coverage. You know who's not dropping into coverage? A rookie defensive tackle who's just now getting his first playing time. That's the one guy we know as an offense who isn't dropping the coverage. Raiders throw a curveball. Laulu goes into coverage and makes the play. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap again. You can see Laulu dropping the coverage and makes the play. You talk about playmaker, right? I'm going to keep seeing it till I'm blue in the face. It doesn't seem to matter. 96 makes plays. Whether it's sacking the quarterback in a stunt to start this film review, whether it's effort plays in the run game, whether it's play side in the run game. Sometimes it's about generating disruptive force like we saw in the previous play. He just makes plays. Here he is in the coverage game. I couldn't find a single scouting report. Obviously, defensive tackle wasn't drafted high, all that kind of good stuff. Of course, you're not going to get a coverage grade on this guy coming out of college. But there's no scouting report in the world that talks about him as a versatile player who can drop in his zone coverage. And yet here he does it. I'm just going to keep saying it. The Raiders have something here. They have a guy that can do a lot of different things, does his assignment, and does it well almost every single time. I love Laulu for this Raiders defense.
Yeah, Nick, and he's done this a couple of different times. He averages out a 67 overall in coverage. He's dropped into coverage 6 times, 6 different games he's dropped into coverage for this Raiders team, doing a lot of really good stuff. And not only that, he's done really great at pass rush in this game as well. 65.2 pass rush grade for him per PFF against this Atlanta Falcons team. So Laulu doing a lot of good stuff like you alluded to. He's been really impressive, had high highs in the run defense game in past weeks, making a lot of plays, getting the stops up, been very consistent pass rush, been surprisingly very consistent in coverage as well. Overall, just a really great find for the Las Vegas Raiders.